Hello everybody, this is All's House Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut. In the previous episode, we went around the Croy's Bazaar, talked to some people who had anything new to say, which wasn't many, returned to our safe house to discover that Blitz has a problem with somebody he took money from, but has come up with a plan for it. And we learned a great deal about why Iger doesn't trust us because of our past, and a great deal about Glory's past. And let me tell you guys, today was not a good day for recording, cause, well, when I went to try and start recording, for whatever reason, I couldn't get the, recordings to open up. Let's see, what was the error? Whenever I tried to open it up, and I'm assuming this is like just your standard run-of-the-mill default media player, it says, error performing in-page operation. So I tried to run this check disk thing that was recommended, and it took several hours. For those of you who don't know, I tend to try and record these things early in the morning, and it is currently 10:52 p.m. at the time that I'm recording this. If that gives you an idea of how long it took for that check disk thing to do its whole thing. And even after that, when I tried to run it with the default media player, still got the same error. However, I have discovered that, as far as I know, no other programs seem to have that one error, and I am still able to play these through VLC media players, so I have no clue what the hell is going on. Like I said, today is not a good day, and I just really got to try to get at least one video recorded today. But anyways, from where we left off, before we talked to Paul about that ambush from a couple episodes ago, we're going to hit up our mission computer to collect our payment for the last job. Let's check our inboxes. Salvage DVD. Screen flickers to life and Malit's face appears. From the shifting background and ambient noise, it's clear this message was recorded on a portable device. Hoi, Talia. Just wanted to tell you that I've met with limited success in working on that stack of DVDs. It's a thorny problem, but at least I'm making some headway. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you will find another recovered disc. I wasn't able to salvage all of the files on it, but I think you'll find what I did recover to be of interest. Okay. For my part, I'm going to continue working on the other DVDs. To tell you the truth, I won't hold out much hope, though. They're all badly damaged and suffering from disc rot besides. I'll be in touch. My best to you and your team. Okay. Audition. Withheld. To Talia, you have failed to live up to our expectations and you have failed our audition. Black Lodge. In light of your apparent inability to follow simple instructions, we have withdrawn a representative from your Kiez. Good. After much internal debate, our organization has decided to not take punitive action against you or your team. We have wasted enough time and resources on you already. Consider yourself lucky and enjoy your career in the shadows. We are confident that it won't last long. Says you. And the last one, Silky, to Talia. Hi Talia, this is Silky from the hotel. I hope it's okay that I'm writing you. Samuel gave me your email address. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you for everything that you did for me. Kicking my cram habit was the hardest thing that I've ever done, and I don't think I would have tried if you hadn't talked me into it. To celebrate my newfound sobriety, I've decided to sign on as a volunteer at the charity. Who knows, maybe giving back to the community will help turn things around in my life. Hey, good on you, Silky. The first step is admitting you have a problem, and the second step is seeking help for it. No shame in ever asking for help. Anyway, thanks again, Talia. I owe you one. Yours, Silky. And let's check the jobs directory. Claim payment for the pharma cleanup job. You submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few moments later, a message pops up onto the screen. Herr Fuchs, to Talia. An excellent job, Talia. You are a credit to your profession, and I would not hesitate to hire you again. Your fee will be transferred to your account immediately. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox, your payment details. Alright, $15,000 from client, $4,000 for the crew, $1,000 for ammunition and resupply costs, $7,500 for the Alice Fund, with a remainder of $2,500 for us. Okay, and the only other pending job we have is the MK6 prototype extraction. Now, we can't check the status of the Alice Fund, and we can actually deposit $5,000 from our own wallet into the Alice Fund, but so long as you do the jobs, you're not going to have a problem with cash. Now check the Shadowland. Let's see, post pay data for sale, post Shearing Pharma AG chemical research data. Yeah, let's do that. Whoops. Let's see, threat. Massacre at Shot Nest Schoolhouse. Really attention-grabbing headline, right? That's how the local news has been spinning it. Truth is, the schoolhouse was abandoned years ago and was being used as a humanist recruitment and training complex. You're kidding me. A friend of mine was going there after class. He said it was just a community center. I know none of you are fans of Humanist, but that entire chapter house got wiped clean. There were probably some kids in there off the street who were just looking for a hot meal. Screw Humanist for exploiting them, but they didn't deserve death. Good riddance to those a-holes. Streets are a little safer now that they're all buried. Went trolling on the Humanist board and that place was totally wiped out. Volker Stahl was in charge of that chapter house. Good riddance to that piece of dreck. Heh, just got offered a job to geek one of Humanist's lieutenants. Seems like Stahl is dead and the power struggle is already underway. You taking the job? Not my kind of work, but I gave the Johnson an address to one of your tricks dead drops. Cheers, mate. Just finished up drinks with a chummer who was doing some biz up there. The real story is Humanist did not want to pay for services rendered to some hired muscle, went crazy and took them all out. So the muscle decided taking the whole place down would get the Nuyen back? Well, that's one way to make a living, I guess. Even if your friend did get screwed out of Nuyen, I don't think Humanists would even be worth the bullets, especially that many of them. Save the F state. Let's see, the time rise up against the corporations is now fight for a free Berlin? Ugh, that is some poor grammar. And that's coming from me. You just fall out of a time warp? War is over and we won. Hard to imagine Berlin any freer. Maybe you just need to switch to decaf? As long as any corporation is active anywhere in the F state, we are all at risk. We must act. Corps are good for business and keep in their little corners. Why do you think we would help you? How naive to think they will stay there forever. Don't you see that they are taking the freedom we all hold so dear? Plans are being made across the F state with this shadow community on our side. We shall prevail. The F state has its own way of dealing with those who step out of line. Take your politics somewhere else. Around here, we've got bills to pay. Running on SK. Scheisse, what a thrill. Had to do a simple data steal in an SK branch office. Turned into an OK Corral shootout. Never seen first response team arrive that fast in my life. Had a Decker off-site running damage control. Managed to distract the second team to a different building while we jacked the car the first team came in. Lesson learned. Simple when it comes to SK means something else. You stole the corpse response vehicle? Don't they have trackers on those things? Of course they do. Dumped it off the side of the road with a primed grenade in the backseat just to be safe. Nice one. Bragging about a nearly failed run on SK? Is it worth them paying a Decker to backtrace your Shadowland account? Any idea what valuable data they were hiding in that branch office? No idea. Money was too good to take any chances with it. Safely delivered it to the transfer. Safely delivered it and the transfer cleared. Huh. Alright, well, nothing else. Well, I was going to talk to Paul, but now we have a DVD to look at. Though I don't imagine it's going to take too long given what Malit was saying. Alright, let's load the third DVD. Play track 1. Let's see, timestamp on the video, 2042-0805. I was thinking about Adrian today. Not as he was when he disappeared, not as the fabled Dragon Slayer or the big-time CEO of Deal Defense. Daihel? Whichever. I was thinking about when we were kids. Well, I was always more of a kid than he was, of course. He's 15 years older than me. In a way, he was more like a parent than a brother. Winters pauses. His gaze drops to an invisible point on the table in front of him. So I was thinking about this time when we were on holiday. Our parents took us out to the island of Pole to enjoy the beach. I must have been about 5 years old. Adrian was 20. It'd be his last family vacation with us. A year later, he'd begin his meteoric rise to fame and fortune. But on this trip, he was my brother. When I fell out of the little paddle boat that our parents rented and started sinking fast into the Baltic, he was the one who dove in to rescue me. You saved my life that day, Adrian. I'll love you forever for that. And I will find you. I owe you that much. Oh. Let's see, 2049-0606. Found an old news article that mentions Adrian from way back in 2036. It was printed in a financial magazine called Das Finanzwesen. Oh, I need to work on my German. One of those chic print based mags that they produced for the retro crowd. There aren't any clues in here, but it's good to see someone else acknowledge his existence. Let's see, digital printout. SK stock suffers in post-buyout brain drain. November 12th, 2039. In the aftermath of the Dragonfall's hostile takeover of Seder Krupp. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that. A continuing brain drain of high-level executives is causing ongoing worry among company shareholders. Company stock took a major hit when Lofweer deposed former CEO Wilhelmina Graf Benoit last August. 3 months later, long-held power positions within the SKI empire continue to empty as the Dragon consolidates his power base. Most recent casualties of Lofweer takeover include Alexandra Kobayashi, former COO of Seder Munitions, Matthaus Donner, former treasurer of Ruhr Datafax, and Werner Harding, former CEO of Deal Defense. Harding stepped into the role to replace Dr. Adrian Vauclair, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances 2 years ago. Oof. Winter's face winks back up to the screen. So there you have it. That's what they had to say about Adrian a mere 2 years after his disappearance. My brother. The footnote. Oh boy, let's see, clearly corrupted, meaningless stream of text, Track 4, meaningless stream of text. Track 5. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grinds in its tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. Dr. Vauclair, it is my sad duty to inform you that by unanimous vote of the Aufsichtsrats, your position as CEO of Deal Defense will be terminated at the end of the calendar month. Your continued misallocation of company funds to pursue personal agendas cannot and will not be tolerated any longer. The supervisory board is not unsympathetic to your mental state. The trauma that you endured during your pursuit of the dragon Feuerschwing must have been enormous, but your continuing obsession with the dragon, the dead dragon, I might add, has proven a negative influence on this company and an unjustified drain on company resources. The board wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. We have prepared a generous severance package to assist you in this time of transition. If there is anything more that we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. Werner Harding. Oof, that's rough. And now it's time to talk to Paul Amsel. Amsel calls over his shoulder at the sound of your approach. His eyes are glued to the computer's display. Talia, Frau Muller should be on her way, but before you go to the meeting, I have news. He glances at you and his words trail off. Upon seeing the expression on your face, Amsel's voice becomes grave. It can wait. Tell me, what has happened? Let's see, I had some trouble on the U-Bahn. Somebody set up an ambush. Amsel pauses, then gives a curt nod. Truth be told, I've been expecting that something like this might happen. I'm just glad that you made it out alive. Hand over the encrypted PDA. One of the attackers dropped this. Amsel takes the PDA from you and examines it. Yes, I should be able to extract some information from this. Give me a moment. Plugs the PDA into his computer and goes to work. A few minutes later, he lets out a grunt of dismay. Well, Talia, I was able to recover a file, but unfortunately that's all I'll ever be able to pull off of this thing. All that anyone will, truth be told. Must have been running some kind of counter-intrusion software. The instant that I gained access, it bricked itself. Amsel disconnects the useless PDA and drops it to the ground, clatters to a rest on the metal floor. To be honest, we probably should have handed it to Blitz, considering he's a Decker and all that. What did you manage to pull off of it? A comm file. The audio is all there, but it looks like we've only got video from one side of the conversation. Let's see what we have. He opens the file and a nightmarishly familiar face appears on the screen. Bachmeyer. The voice bleats out from Amsel's speakers filling the room. Aldrin here. What's your status? Bachmeyer's image is garbled, but his voice sounds young and eager. Target acquired, sir. You were right. We spotted her on the U-Bahn, just like you said. Probably on her way to a job. As per your instructions, we're going to try and take her out on her way back. She'll be more vulnerable that way. Hopefully injured and low on ammo too, but only time will tell. Good man. Proceed as instructed. Will do. Cosman is rigging up an ambush spot now. We'll try to make it quick. The orc with the nightmare face nods. Send me a comm when the job is done. Aldrin out. The image on your computer screen dies. Amsel turns to face you. Well, our scarred friend makes an appearance. Talia, I suspect that Green Winter's predictions are coming true. I believe that Feuerschwing is behind this. Under Amsel's patient exterior, you can feel the worry that's eating at him. Be on your guard, you and the rest of your team. You made it through this attack relatively unscathed, but next time you might not be so lucky. Well, at least now we have a name to put to the face. Aldrin. That's not all we have. As I was saying when you first walked in, I've been productive as well. I was able to uncover some new evidence in your absence, and coincidentally enough, that evidence pertains to our scarred friend. As you might recall, I said that I'd dig into Aldrin's skin grafts. Well, I did, and that search has finally borne fruit. One of my contracts outside of Berlin handles the paperwork for private hospitals all across Germany. It's a dull, boring job, but it does have its perks. Amsel pulls open a file on his computer. A medical chart opens up the screen. As it turns out, our scarred friend's skin grafts were performed at a legitimate hospital after all. If you have a biotech of 4, then you'll be able to read the grafts on Aldrin's skin grafts. Unfortunately, we don't, so we can't. Some good news for once. What do they say? Well, they're rather light on identifying information. Our friend's name is listed as Max Mustermann, the local equivalent of John Doe, but they do cover his injuries in great detail. Aldrin's injuries were extensive. He had 2 broken ribs and a shattered pelvis, and he had sustained third-degree burns over 60% of his body. Most damningly of all, he was suffering from acute radiation poisoning. His body had absorbed over 5,000 millisieverts of ionized radiation, a lethal dose without treatment. The information dries up at this point. We know that he was treated and discharged, but what happens afterward remains a mystery. Your thoughts? Hold nothing back. I'd like to hear everything that comes to mind. Aldrin might have spent some time in the socks. That radiation poisoning didn't happen on its own. Agreed. 5,000 millisieverts is a lot of exposure. Short of basking in the glow of an unshielded reactor, I don't know how he'd have absorbed that much ionizing radiation without spending time in the socks. Alright, so Aldrin was heavily radiated, most likely from time spent in the socks. What else does this tell you? Well, those burns sound like Dragonfire, but if the Firewing burned Aldrin, why would he be working for her now? I don't think that Aldrin is working for the Firewing. I believe that he is serving her. On Green Winter's second DVD, he mentions that there is a cult within the SOX that worships the Firewing, disciples of cleaning fire. I believe that Aldrin belongs to this cult. Well, that's bad news. There's nothing more dangerous than a zealot. My thoughts exactly. A hireling can sometimes be bribed or reasoned with. A pawn can be liberated. But if the Firewing soldiers look upon her as a goddess figure, nothing short of killing her will deter them. Even that might not stop them. So it is possible that Aldrin is a dragon cultist. This seems to fit with much of the other information that we've uncovered. Did any other red flags jump out at you? The hospital couldn't ID Aldrin. Either somebody covered his tracks for him, or he was living completely off the grid. Indeed, If Aldrin were a denizen of the Socks, a glowpunk, his lack of identifying information would make sense. Amsel adjusts his glasses. It's a working theory at any rate. So to sum up, Aldrin has probably spent time in the Socks. It's possible that he even lived there as a member of Feuerschwing's dragon cult, and he is after you. Amsel pauses for a moment before continuing. In my mind, all of this reinforces one fact. We need to find Valclair, and we need to do it fast. Agreed. Good. That's all the more reason to gather Alice's fee as quickly as possible. There's a buzzing sound from Paul's wrist, and he lifts his hand to look at his PDA. And as luck would have it, Frau Muller has arrived. Best of luck at the meeting, Talia. Remember, this is urgent. We need that money. I'm on it. Well, with that, we should probably head on out of here and go talk to Frau Muller. Shame I can't get Biotech 4, because I know it's going to be needed for the next mission. I could have sworn I'd already had that, but I guess not. Yeah, and I would need another 5 karma to get that. Oh well, there are other ways to go about getting what we need without the biotech, so we're just going to have to work with that. Ah, Frau Muller, I presume. As you press your way forward through the cozy, smoke-filled confines of Café Sisvi, you catch sight of Frau Muller. She appears as Amsel described her, an impressive-looking woman of Aztlaner descent with coffee-colored skin and a dark, wavy hair. Everything about her screams corporate executive, from her expensive-looking suit to her tastefully understated makeup. She's obviously nervous, but she's hiding it well. She locks eyes with you and hesitates only slightly before speaking. Talia, I presume? Herr Amsel told me that I could meet you here. He wasn't lying. He said you had a job for me. She holds her silence for a moment, then nods. Yes. Yes, I do. In truth, I'm in desperate need of your help. Then tell me what you need, Frau Muller. She offers you a small smile, an assumed name, obviously, but I have been told that this is how you people do business. She straightens her seat and tries on a smile. It hangs there for a second, then fades away. She smiles. She sighs. From my accent, you've no doubt inferred that I am an Aztlaner. Further, you might have guessed who I work for. You can only guess this with corporate etiquette. As technology, I presume? She nods. I've been working for the company, with the company for over a decade. In that time, I've worked on all manner of projects, from the innocuous to the obscene. My hands have touched it all. Never once did I question the wisdom of our research. Never once did I consider blowing the whistle on my employers. I kept my nose down, worked hard, and excelled at the tasks set before me. They must love you there. No more than any other employee, but my commitment and work ethic were recognized, and I ascended the corporate ladder fairly quickly. Which brings me to where I am today. Last month, I was transferred here from my home in Tenochtitlan. No clue. They told me that an employee of my caliber was needed in Berlin and that I would be working on a project with wide-reaching applications. The only other detail that I was given was the name of the project. Bloodline. Well, that doesn't sound good. She looks you in the eye, and for the first time you can see the cracks in her composure. She's doing a good job of hiding it, but deep down this woman is terrified. I have seen many terrible things in my life, Talia. In Tenochtitlan. Ugh, I am butchering that. Blood magic is commonplace. Take a moment to imagine what that means. In the underground markets, people are bought and sold as chattel. Street children are rounded up and bled like lambs. I witnessed all of these things by the age of 12. She takes a deep breath, then lets it out slowly. Seeing such things, it changes you. Makes you numb. What I found when I arrived here was worse. This project, it horrifies me, Talia, and it must be stopped. Tell me everything you know about Bloodline. She shakes her head. The less you know, the better. For both of us. You'll just have to trust me on that. You need only know that it is evil, and that is not a word I use lightly. If you won't tell me what this bloodline is, how do you expect me to stop it? Simple. She leans in and looks you in the eye. I want you to bring the building down. The computers, the research data, the mages, and scientists that are working to bring about this abomination. I want all of them burned to ash and buried in rubble. No compromises and no exceptions. Her tone softens. I'm sure that you have unanswered questions. I'm not in the habit of dealing with Shadowrunners. In truth, I've spent the majority of my career living in fear of you people. But I do know that you're the only ones who can get this done. So tell me, Talia, is there anything more that you need to hear from me? Or are you ready to make a decision? Paul Amsel is my representative in these matters. Why couldn't you tell all this to him? I had to meet you in person, to look you in the eyes and see the woman behind the name. Now that I have done so, I am sure. You are the one that I need. Naturally, I will send any further information about the job to Herr Amsel. Provided, of course, that you accept. What about any innocent people in the building? None of us are innocent, Talia. But if you need to salve your conscience, rest assured that at the hour of your approach, the only personnel authorized to be on site will be security and senior members of the research team. And I assure you, neither are innocent in this matter. If the Bloodline Project reaches completion, nobody will be safe ever again. This sounds like hyperbole, I know, but it isn't. The Bloodline Project will lead to countless deaths. I am certain enough of this to hire you, despite the fact that I am doing so will probably cost me my own life. I'm not a demolitions expert, Frau Muller. How do you expect me to level a building? You don't need to be. All you need is a competent decker. The facility is powered by a number of on-site generators. There are safeguards in place to prevent them from overloading. In the event of a power spike, the system is designed to shut itself down. But I know how to disable those safeguards. Once the generators begin to overload, you'll have a limited time to reach a safe distance. An explosion will be quite catastrophic. What can you tell me about the building's security? Expected to be tight. In addition to their standard security team, As Technology has taken out a knight-errant high-threat response team. Contract to protect the building. Corporate doesn't seem to mind contracting a competitor for emergency response services. That should give you some indication as to the uniqueness of this project. At any rate, I believe that I've come up with a solution to the knight-errant problem. I'll discuss the matter with your Herr Amsel if you decide to take the job. Let's talk compensation. 36,000 Nuyen, as I told your Herr Amsel. That is what I have allocated for the job. That's fair. It's better than fair. I've done my homework, Talia. I've reached a decision. Yes, and? I'll take the job. Her face visibly brightens. In that case, it's a deal. I can't tell you how relieved I am, Talia. Thank you for helping me to bring this nightmare to an end. I will iron out the remaining details with your Herr Amsel. He'll want to talk this over with you anyway, I'm sure. You're a good woman, Talia. You are saving more lives than you know. Yeah, I'm sure I am. Short on time. We're probably going to just finish this off by talking to Paul. I was actually hoping to get the next mission started, but so be it. That's the nature of games with lots of dialogue in them. Welcome back, Talia. How did the meeting with Frau Muller go? I accept the job. Any ideas on how to tackle this? Yes, a few. Frau Muller has provided us with detailed information on the facility. I've vetted the information and it seems to hold up. Based on this intel, I have formulated what I believe will be an effective strategy to bring down the building. According to Muller's intel, the facility is extraordinarily well guarded. Whatever this Bloodline Project is, the Azis have spared no expense to defend it. This facility is patrolled by Az Technology's internal security personnel. On their own, they would pose a challenge, but I don't doubt that you could brute force your way through them. Unfortunately, they will not be on their own. Az Technology has purchased one of Knight Errant's more expensive security contracts as an additional line of defense. So kicking in the front door is out then. Amsel nods. I should say so. I pulled some strings with an old contact of mine, and he's provided me with the address of a small software developer, OTK International. They write the firmware updates for Knight Errant's comm systems, and their defenses should be considerably weaker than Az Technology's. My contact has informed me that OTK stores an off-site hard copy of every firmware update it develops for data security purposes. My suggestion is this. You hit the offices of OTK International and reduce their computers to slag. In the interim, I will have the hard copy of their next update replaced with a compromised version. When OTK's next update goes live, our compromised version will be pushed out to Knight Errant. When you hit the AS Technology facility, I'll be able to track Knight Errant via their comms. This should make the run much more manageable. He fishes in his pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a corporate ID with your face on it. This will get you through the front door of the office park that contains OTK International. My contact was only able to provide me with the one card, so you'll need to let the rest of your team in through a side door. Alright, sounds like a plan. Very good. OTK's offices aren't far from here. You should take the U-Bahn there when you're ready. And we will, but that won't be for some time as we've got a lot to get through. So, with that, I'm actually going to end it off here for today because we are out of time for this episode. So, if you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content, don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload, or to hit the straw polling to vote for our next Let's Play, which at the time of recording is currently at 6 votes. 3 for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, 2 for Prey 2017, 1 for Dragon Age Origins Awakening, and 0 for Yakuza 0. And please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.